Yeah.
They didn't catch
All right.
It.
We're recording, so act like you've got some manners now, okay, everybody? We're recording. This is for posterity. All the people who come, imagine people in like 4 years watching this video and thinking they're a week in to join in the team, and they're like, what the hell have I done? Look at this motley crew of people. We got Dustin smiling and driving. Nate's making, he looks like a terrorist with his hoodie on, making God knows what Charles has got going on. Janine looks nice and fresh-faced, and Tiffany and Stephanie are just like double trouble over there. So, and you got me in my beer shirt. So, rock and roll. All right. We're going to start.
Where'd you get this Flex MLS?
Sorry, buddy. This is regional. So,
wait.
This is what everybody else uses. All right. So, we're going to go in and try and figure this thing out. So, let's build your search for your house yesterday that we talked about, Janine. I'm in full search, which is how you get to it to start this process. I know that it was a single family, neighborhood, townhomes of Holly Ridge or whatever.
Neighborhoods of Holly Ridge.
Okay.
Doug, shouldn't you only use closed if we're doing CMA?
No, don't use closed, only closed for CMA.
Why? The appraiser's going to use, right?
Yeah, but you also need to see what your competition is on the market, because what if prices have gone down?
Well,
Is this for doing a CMA for listing, by the way, or just buyers?
Well, what we're using it for is going to be more towards sellers, because on the buy side, it's going to be a little more cut and dry than it is when you're trying to price something. It's applicable for both. Unfortunately, it's not this tool this way isn't applicable for us in the Triangle, Charles, but I think it'll still be a good learning experience, because we're going to talk about values of different things and how appraisers actually kind of go in, and that's the purpose of this. It gives us a little bit more of that appraisal side of it and how they look at things. All right, what are we? It's 3 beds, 2 full baths, right?
Yep.
Nate, is this a listing of yours?
Yeah.
Okay. Where's it at?
Neighborhoods of Holly Ridge.
Okay.
And then we were like, what, 0.19 to 0.33 acre?
Like 0.18 to 0.33. The subject is 0.26.
And then
2011 is the year.
So we do like 5 either way. And then let's see. Garage. And then, especially if you're pricing for a listing, but also for your buyers, also want to make sure that you rule out anything that might be a short sale or a foreclosure, just because that's going to throw it off. Just come in here and go to none for your stipulation of sale. Charles, we can do that in our system as well. Always something to be aware of. Square foot heated, what was this, like 1540 something?
1546, yep.
So something like that. And that gives us, we also just want to go back. 6 months.
Yep.
And that gives us 15 results. You guys can see the screen, right? Yep.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Now, one thing we know in this neighborhood, which isn't going to show up on here because we can't really sort by builder or whatever, is there's 2 different builders out there, and that definitely has affected the price of that neighborhood. It did when I had the listing in there before. I think we've had more than one listing in there, and I know that a couple of you have worked with buyers in there, if I remember correctly. So that's something you're going to have to work with on your own, but if you're coming in, and you guys can help with this, please. This is a list of the properties, right? And then we're going to do the CMA. And what we usually do is the one-line CMA. That's just this basic that you usually run for buyers, right? So you're focused on typically the neighborhood, square feet, beds and baths, year, lot size, and we're really looking at, trying to get the comps for the price per square foot, right? But we're going to do this real fancy one. We still go to CMA, right? But we go to, where do we go next?
You have to select the properties first.
Yeah, you want to only click 3 and then do use selected. So you can have like a subject, which you can add later, but pick 3 of like the closest.
All right, so which ones were those? I know you remember, Janine.
403 Belvedere and then 404 Belvedere. Those are the only 2 closed.
Okay, and what was the one that was active that we were using?
1213 Daisy.
Okay, it's pending now. What's there?
Oh no, that was the pending one. There's an active one at 1209 Daisy.
All right. Can you only use 3?
Well, that, I mean, that's what she said, but she said only do close, not like pending.
Well, guess what? It's my company. We're also going to use pending and active to see what else the market has going on. Because then you can say, look, this home is active. It's priced at X. It's been on the market for longer than the days on market. We want to make sure we price below that.
Did the 282 one pop that had the pool?
Not
Probably.
to play advocate, but a house could be priced and be still sitting on the market because it sucks. Like it could be dirty or smell or,
Yeah.
That's right. This one, right?
Yep.
Okay. All right. So what do we do next? CMA, use selected.
Yep.
And then which one do we use?
full, right?
Full.
The full, yep.
And the average field we use is heated square feet, right? Have you been changing that, Stephanie?
Mm-mm.
Okay.
And then I just put the client name there.
All right. And what's the subject?
So the subject is 516 Cottage Court.
Do the auto populate though.
It's not in the MLS.
Go down to auto populate.
It wasn't in MLS before.
It's never been in MLS?
No.
Oh,
They
okay.
think they bought it directly from the builder, and it's.
They did. They did. It was a new build in 2011 when they bought it.
So for this one, you're just gonna have to actually go in and fill the stuff. If we do another example, we can use yours, Stephanie, where it pulls it over automatically, just for the benefit of everything. I'm assuming that's how yours was.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So.
I just changed it over on the right side where I filled in those.
Oh, so you just put it. You put the amount here.
That's what I did.
Okay. What was it?
1546.
Not bad. It's like 11,000 and some square feet.
11,326. 0.26. 2011. No and yes. Yes, that's correct.
Nice corner lot, right? Which
Yep.
isn't going to play into this, so that's something you have to eyeball, right?
Yep.
All right, so now we've got everything there. I'm guessing we just go to next step. Oh, I dropped you at the bottom of the screen. That's nice.
So everything is pretty the same on all of the properties except the Holly Pond Drive one has the pool. And so where it says adjustments for comparable, down there, Doug, go down a little bit. The drop down right here. Right, Stephanie?
Right here.
Yeah.
New adjust, pull.
But well, make sure so where it says adjustments for comparable, go to the right property. So if it's Holly Pond, click on that drop down. No, go down.
The drop down.
Okay.
To your left a little bit. There you go.
Got you. Thank you.
Now do it. Yep.
Type in pool and then subtract 10,000.
So my question is where do you get that amount from if it's not auto-populating it?
So you have to add the adjustments. So she just has done it for a really long time and she knows appraiser. So she just told me what she knows they are. So she said half bath is 1,500, full bath is 2,500, pool's 10,000. That's just what she gave me.
So that would be
Is that
This
a
is
is that a universal thing for the appraisers, or is that just hers?
Yeah, that's the numbers they use. I'm gonna go to her sit-in class too, though. So
That would be a negative then, right, to take away
Yeah.
the value. So like this, and now it shows it at 270, right?
Mm-hmm.
All right, so next step, because that's really the only thing
Yeah.
only
is square footage all the exact same for all of those
But doesn't it automatically adjust for it?
into your system? Remember?
Okay, we'll go back then.
So I think you added on that day at my house, but I don't think that's probably in his computer yet.
Oh, okay. So go back, Doug.
it's right here.
Yeah, but it's not going to adjust automatically for you, like the difference.
All right, so
There you go.
But go to auto adjust. Yeah. Hit OK. Maybe it's because you already started it. Here, close it for a second. I don't know why yours is saying that. You just have to do it manually, I guess, if it's not going to let
So
you.
do you have to do it from the previous page?
No, it's usually right there.
I mean, we put the square footage in.
Right, but so like if another house is say 50 square foot less, you add the difference in square footage and then it adjusts for you. Maybe because this wasn't an MLS, I don't know why it's not letting you. Hit it one more time.
I'm guessing that's why, because of that.
So hit auto adjust. Okay. Hit OK. Maybe that's the only reason I can think of. So you'll just have to do it manually. So what you just did for the pool, you would just have to go through and figure out the square footage, which that would be a pain to do.
Yeah, because it's not in the system.
Yeah. You
Well, let's just look at what this says, because we're close. I mean, here are the
Oh, I'm sorry. I know what we did wrong. Go back to adjustments. Go to edit adjustment list.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
And then do heated, scroll down to heated square footage.
There you go.
And again, I'm getting these numbers from what she told me, but she said for a regular neighborhood, you do 50, and then for like a premier neighborhood, so like mine, it's 60. So if this is a regular neighborhood, just do 50.
So do 50 for the value.
And then if you want to ever save any other ones to do it automatic, that's where you do it. So like I added the half bath, the full bath, things like that for later on if you want to do that. And now hit auto adjust comparables. Okay.
Ah, there you go. Well done.
And then you have to go next.
Next step from here.
Yeah.
So you see how it's calculated adjustments for each property.
But I think go to the next page now. And then hit recalculate. Okay, and then when you go to the next page and hit view, it'll all be on that. It does it automatically.
So good visual here, right? Here are your active ones. Pending.
Blue is sold.
Sold, yeah, then there's the active. So here's the subject.
The pin. Yep.
So the adjusted price for all these gives this one a value of 262,200.
Doug, is this kind of like when you use Realist?
Not really, because, well, I mean, not really.
No.
You can make a manual adjustment.
There is a feature in your list where you can do something like that.
But there's only 2 sold properties on this CMA here.
Doug, this is how my first firm taught us to do CMAs this exact way. But how far in depth do you want us to go with adjustments? Because they would adjust for like a shed out back. They would adjust for like a wood burning fireplace versus a electric fireplace. Like how I feel like it can get a little muddy if you do too much. Like that was easy.
I would not do it unless I can't run the other comps and come up with a number I'm comfortable with. I think it's overkill.
Yeah, I mean, it was a big adjustment for me coming from my first firm to this one to do one line CMAs, and it's a lot easier. I mean, I understand this if there's hardly any comps and you have to do a lot of adjustments for that listing presentation, but I don't know. I just feel like it can get complicated.
So I probably get a call once a week from one of you that says, I'm having a real hard time with these comps. Can you help me? For you guys at the coast, try this before you call me now and see what you come up with and see if you are more comfortable with the number. For listings, if it's not cut and dry, try this. I think for the most part, you're not going to need it. I really don't. I mean, it's a great tool. It's really amazing to be able to see that level of depth and kind of think of it as maybe a little bit more on the appraiser side. But here's the thing, unless I get a list that shows me, and Stephanie, if you can get this, I think it'll be helpful. I'll add it to our resources page so people can pull it when they go and do something like this. Unless we can get something that's pretty much a universally accepted value for these different things, and there's probably not, just because somebody says in my experience there is, it doesn't mean somebody's going to look at it that way. Unless we get it from an appraiser, right? Then it's kind of Now, if we get the appraiser to come in and talk to us and say, well, typically I see that X is attributed for a Y and, you know, whatever for different things, and we can use that as a rough guide, I think that's fantastic. I'd rather have it go from an appraiser than another agent, but it's still a good resource to have, especially if you're in a tough spot where you feel like you're stuck with something.
Well, I feel like this is really good for like beach properties too, because they're all over the place. Like
I agree. For the really tough ones,
first row, this one, you know.
all those beach listings that either aren't in a neighborhood or they are, but all the houses are completely different. Or like one is on the beach front and the other one's on the other side of the road, but it's the same neighborhood. Obviously, you're not going to be able to comp those right. So I think really, again, it's one of the real difficult spots that you get in. If you're going out and running 6 comps to go show 6 houses in one day, absolutely do not need to be doing this.
Oh,
It's a waste of your time.
I think it
If
would
you
be
are prepping for a list appointment and you want something nice to present, like we talked about yesterday, Stephanie, to have a really good visual to explain how I came up with this number, I think it's an amazing tool for that. 100%.
And if we can get me just trying to set one up to give us values, because like even for elevators and beach houses, like things like that, it would be really good to know those values.
100%. And if you can get that stuff for us and send it to me, I'll package it together and I'll get it on our resource page so you can pull it whenever you need it.
So would you prefer like us to have an appraiser come in, or like just how to get those values?
But Tiffany, hadn't we talked about getting your appraiser friend to come in when we ever get in the office? I think I'd still like to do that.
Yeah, I just need a date for her.
Me too. So
Yeah.
we'll get there. Just, maybe touch base with her today and keep it on our radar. Say, hey, we'd still love for you to come in. We're just, we're still waiting. Maybe towards the end of March.
Okay.
So thoughts about that, everybody else? I think that's a good plan. Okay. Do you want to do one more just for an example? Do you want to do Stephanie's the way she did it yesterday so we can show everybody exactly how you pull the subject property? from MLS previously. I think that'll be helpful, right?
Mhm.
I'm glad we all agree. Awesome.
Yes. Yes.
So for mine, I just solely went off of what like she was telling me to do, and ours. Mine was a little tricky because one of them was a foreclosure, and obviously you can't compare foreclosure. So she had adjusted the foreclosure on like what it would have sold for, and she said a lot of times appraisers will do that if they can't pull, because there's not many homes that sold in my neighborhood over the past 6 months. So mine was a little bit different.
All right. Well, you can just
So
walk
we'll
through
do that
and
before
check
they
the
take
boxes.
it back.
What'd you say, Nate?
I said they'll do that before they just take the date back further.
Oh, really?
No, that's what I'm asking.
Oh, that's what I'm asking too. Yeah. Will they go back a year before they'll pull a foreclosure?
I fully went off of what she said. I don't know.
You want to try to walk me through this?
Date back actually too. I think we took it back to 240 days.
And that's the thing too. We've all seen. I mean, there's disparity between appraisers. We've seen people go like outside of the neighborhood for comps,
Yeah.
and they
Yeah.
didn't have to.
Yeah.
Actually, I don't think there's a perfect science. I think every appraiser does it differently.
Yeah.
Nope. Just
So
like
subjective.
Okay. I mean, I think that is the biggest takeaway from this is if we were all appraisers instead of what we are, I think you'd get just as many different opinions.
Right.
Mhm.
So it's about ballparking and then dealing with whatever happens later, but putting yourself in the best position to do it. All right, Stephanie, tell me what to do.
So do for subdivision, put Village at Folkestone. I'm gonna have to, what's up? I don't remember off the top.
Okay.
So we had to go back. I think it was like 240 days.
So what's that, roughly 9 months?
Yeah.
I changed mine to days.
Yeah, me too. I don't know. I don't see it on here
So
though.
much easier.
Okay.
And
Now,
then over 3,000 square feet. And I think that's all we did. And then just see what the results are.
13.
Click on it. Some of them are new construction, but I can pick out which ones.
You can edit it that way.
I know. But... So down. So 410 Ponzer Court right there. That was the foreclosure. The one right underneath it. And then the very last one, that 406 Ponzer.
Those two are my sandwiched houses.
And then we just used these three.
Tiffany, that looks like the one we sold. Kind
Which
of.
one?
This one.
No, we didn't sell any on Ponzer. It was
No, it just looks like it.
And,
Remember those crazy people that moved to Georgia?
yeah.
Pimlico.
No, not Pimlico.
You see
Okay,
that one, Sam?
those three.
Yep.
Yeah, Plymouth. That was a client. I swear he had been burned in the past. He didn't say anything.
I remember.
Nothing.
And then I always click just because it doesn't really matter, but your name instead of having it blank, but it's okay. So you'll have to pull up the MLS number. Can you pull it up, Tiffany?
Why can't you do it on your phone?
I can't get into Flex on my phone because I forgot the password.
Well,
Hold on, I've got it in my email from when you sent me. Hold on.
how do you survive? All right, what do you need that? The old number?
Yeah, 310 Plymouth.
So 400-98579.
I don't see it. Oh,
It's pretty high.
Go to auto populate field, down, down, up, 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 right there.
What is it?
400,98579. That's way easy.
Fancy. All right, next.
Mm-hmm.
So don't you have to?
No, just go to next. That's just showing which ones you're using.
All right.
Okay.
So hit auto adjust. And that should, well, so for my neighborhood, it's considered a premier neighborhood. So it's actually going to be 60 a square foot, not 50 like you had previously. So you're going to have to do your edit adjustment list.
Not to be whatever. Why is your neighborhood from your neighborhood?
Because of the size of the home, she said.
It
doesn't-
Yeah, I was just gonna ask you that. How did they determine that stuff?
Because you guys don't have a pool or anything. That would I would think. Would they know?
Yeah, she said.
We got Jack in this neighborhood.
Okay.
I think it's just because of the size of the homes.
Gotcha.
So am I good then?
You have to adjust for the foreclosure.
Yeah, and like the baths, it's gonna be a lot of stuff on here. Do you want to go through all the actual adjustments the way we did it? Because it's kind of a lot.
Yeah, I think the purpose of the exercise is to do it, so let's do it.
Okay, so we're gonna have to do the baths and then the pool.
All right, so what do we do?
I don't understand why, but mine doesn't auto adjust for the baths, even though I have them in my list. Like how it just did for square footage, it doesn't do it for me for my bath. So I just had to go in and do it.
Okay, just tell me what to do.
Okay, so we're at 410 Ponce. So I don't know how many bathrooms. You're gonna have to click the link up at the top to see how many bathrooms it has.
Should be a 5.3.
4 full baths.
4.5. So it has half a bath more.
Gosh, 4.5 bath. I would never want to clean that.
So go back. So do new adjustment, half bath, and it has a half a bath more, so you need to subtract 1,500. Oh, go to new adjustment, go down.
How much?
Subtract 1,500.
15?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And then add a pool.
In ground?
Mm-hmm. Unground. And then add 10,000. Okay, and you have to do that for all the properties now.
And now auto adjust it?
No, you just did it manually, so you don't have to hit auto. But you need to go to the drop-down menu and go to the next property. And then we just have to do it all over. So click the link to see how many bathrooms it has.
What's a full bath?
Oh, that's the one that just closed, isn't it?
Yeah, this is my neighbor's house.
Mm.
So you need to add a full bath because that one only has 3.
How much is that?
2,500. And then add a pool again for 10,000. Okay, and then the last property.
Why are you adding the pool?
Because the subject has a pool.
Oh, okay.
This one's the same, it looks like. 3 full baths.
It only has 3 baths, so you need to add a full bath because mine has 4.
That's my next door neighbor's house.
And then the pool too?
Because it had 1 more.
Doug, after you do all this, is this still not just accounting price per square foot?
It will, yeah, but it adjusts for those things. So it takes or adds these things so they're all equal, and then it gives you the price per square foot.
So the only thing we didn't do on this, which is different because there was a foreclosure in here, is which was the very first drop down. I think it's 410.
It is.
She calculated it. I'm not gonna lie. She took the price per square foot of like the typical home in here and took the difference and added it. So it was plus, so I did new adjustment foreclosure plus 60,000 because that's what the difference was.
60, like that.
Mm-hmm. And then that's
That
it.
should be everything.
Then go to next and then recalculate.
Next step. Yeah.
So if you're subject
Excuse me.
Add one to the house, like
Okay.
apples to apples. And if it has like an extra bathroom.
it does have a pool, the other one go, if I compare with that one.
What is wrong?
I felt like oh, you were added because it didn't. Okay.
That puts the adjusted price of the subject property at 314.
And then if you go down, it shows like the low price, the high price, and then the recommended price. So,
Low.
yeah, right there. So the high price was 328, and we talked about it during my presentation yesterday. And obviously, I told them the risks of it not appraising. They chose to go a little bit higher. It was still underneath the high price. The year is going to list at 325.
Okay. Well, based on the data, that seems realistic. Doesn't, get it right. Of course, you got to find somebody willing to pay it, but it doesn't seem crazy based on what we're getting here.
And there's one in the MLS coming soon that says 320.
That's what I was going to say. So like when you say you want to look at the active just to see what the competition is, there's a house in my neighborhood that's coming soon. It doesn't have a pool, and I think it's smaller, and they have it listed at 320.
Yeah.
Well, here's the thing. You can still adjust the price before you go live on a coming soon. You just have to put something in there. So it doesn't mean they're actually going to activate it that. But yeah, that's a good guide to use as well. And that's why it's important to factor those other things in, because honestly, your competition is going to set the stage as much as the appraisal ends up setting the stage. It's just on the front end, on the back end. Because people see two homes the same, and one is $10,000 less. So guess which one they're going to want to see first? Everything else being equal.
Right. I do feel like that one's priced extremely high, but there's another house that just hits the market in my neighborhood. It's the exact same model as this. It just doesn't have a pool, and it's listed at 313.
So that gives you even better ammo because you account for 10K for a pool, and now you're 12K off, so you're in striking distance, I think.
Mm-hmm.
And so what is the real purpose of all this? Well, it's twofold, right? We don't want to get in an issue when it comes to an appraisal later on. But first, it's about setting a realistic expectation for a list price with your seller. Because we all know what it's like to have somebody who won't listen to you, wants to list high. Because, hey, we can always reduce, right? And then, well, the days on market in my neighborhood are 14, and we've been on the market for 30 days. Why haven't it sold? Well, you didn't reduce the price 2 weeks ago like we agreed to after I told you it was too high when we listed. So make sure you don't just have the data, but you use it to set the expectations, because that's as important or more important than the data. It's what you do with it, right? So make sure you do more than just run this and hand it to them and say, here, explain why, and then make your plan for what to do down the road. Make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. This might be our longest ever scripts, and I know we got started a little bit late, but I think it was helpful, and this is a great tool, and I'm all about you guys making sure that you take advantage of the resources that you have to make your job easier. But just make sure you use it to make your job easier, right? Don't use it to confuse yourself or make your job harder. Right?
Yeah, I definitely want to do this for like a bunch of buyer appointments.
100% not. I'm never using this for buyers unless I'm ready to write an offer and I'm completely flabbergasted.
Or like if they like one specific house and maybe it has a unique feature like a pool and you need to like adjust, maybe for something like that, but.
Right. But here's the thing. Now we kind of know a pool's 10K.
Right.
So my biggest takeaways are, this is a great tool for your listing appointments, and it's a lot of great visual hard data to really set the stage for where you want to list. And if you don't list there, where you're going to end up, right? Now, Realist actually does this too, Charles, to your point earlier. I would be interested to see, Stephanie, for example, if you rent and looked at the Realist report for this house, how closely it matched up to these, because you know it has the ABM score, and then it lists a low, high, medium, or whatever. So that would be really interesting to look at. And then, the next step is for buyers, only in the worst case scenario, I think. And again, don't get yourself over your head with this. And part two, I think we can do a follow-up to this maybe next week or whenever you can get it, Stephanie, when we get that list of values typically associated to these different things that we can go through and review and as a part two to this. So let me know what you're able to come up with for that, and then we can tack this on later. And I'll get this in onto the agent resources page so you can go back and revisit it as you need to later on.
Okay.
Questions or anything? We good to go? All right. Well, everybody go have a great day. And I'll be talking to some of you here relatively shortly. Okay. Thanks, everybody. Hey, and thank you guys for really helping lead this conversation and bring it up as a topic to discuss. I appreciate it.
Doug, you said this is going to be in the agent resources?
Yep.
Okay.
I'll talk to you guys soon.
Bye.
See ya.
Deal.